the so-called M550i. We will explain you everything about it. What is the difference to the true M version? What is the difference to the base 5 Series model, if you haven't seen our reviews so far? Everything on exterior, interior and the driving performance with this 8-cylinder. And we will solve the riddle if the 5 Series runs over this paper bag when the car is remotely controlled. Special Autobahn feature, let's go! That was 90 to 150, went pretty fast, didn't it? Sport mode means we hear more from the exhaust. You can also use the shifting pedals if you want to start in a lower gear. This is the M5, M4. This is 200, wow, feels like nothing. Also, I don't have to raise my voice that much. Wow. And the car is super stable also, so it's just an easy exercise for the 5 Series in general, and of course with this almost biggest engine you can get. Really flawless in the performance. I think we didn't expect otherwise. It's a nice growling sound, isn't it? What do you think about the sound here in the inside? 4th gear at the moment. And you're just driving 170, for example, kilometers an hour. Like it is absolutely nothing. So this calmness, this sovereignty about this car is, I think, what is really defining the essence for sure. So, and soon we also get to another motorway, and then we can also tell you something more about the driving dynamics. Lane change here. Also fun to use the shifting pedals. It's a really low frequency sound. This has really been a long time since we had several sports cars and stuff, but really get this low frequency sound there. So we hold the right shifting pedal to go in the D mode again. Then you see everything calms down. Soon, also later in the longer driving part, we'll tell you more about calm driving and assistance systems and smooth Autobahn ride. But this one was just a sneak preview of the performance, because this is what the engine is about. The front of the new 5 Series generation is characterized by this very huge double kidney, the BMW Doppelniere in German, and also that it goes through the headlights basically, so it slides over. Before it was really separated, now it really forms one unit, and that is stressing the width of this very vehicle. The M550i is a little bit similar if you go for a M Sport package for the normal 5 Series. And that means bigger air intakes, a stronger lower bumper. The car also sits a little bit lower, and also you can see around the double kidney and some other accents, you can see this matte gray styling. Those headlights come with LED technology, but those ones you can see right now are the Super LED. They are called Select Beam at BMW, and they have a range of 500 meters then in this top spec. Here again the matte gray signature color of the 550i, and inside the double kidney you can see those vertical fins, and the inside fins, they're closed at the moment to reduce the wind resistance. As soon as the engine needs more cooling, then they open and leave more air through. 4 meters 94 or 16 foot 2 is the total length of this 5 Series. By the way, the touring version, the Estate, that we will also soon show you in the full review, will have the very same length. The M550i has some special features. First of all, again, matte grey contrast, for example, the mirror caps or also the alloys. Those are the 20-inch at the moment. 19-inch would be standard, and I think especially in the combination with the Mediterranean blue color here, such a beautiful combination. Or what do you think? And finally to the rear, which is the most subtle part of this vehicle, you can just see a small integrated wing here, but I think it's also good that it's not, too much screaming for attention. This is also a difference to a true M version, to the top sports version. So this one here, one below, you can see 4 pipes in total. And you can also see an X-Drive logo, because this one here always coming with an all-wheel drive with a rear wheel bias, 4.4 liter, 8 cylinders, 462 horsepower with a beautiful M performance work. To 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour, the car takes 4 seconds. But for 5 Series, 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, and here 8-cylinder. So you can get this huge key with the display and with the optional feature that you have the remote parking function. So I will move the car backwards. As soon as I remove my finger, the car stops. Or forward. And see again, when I remove my finger, the car stops. Now what is interesting now, I want to test. Let's say I fail in doing something with the car remotely. And maybe I hit an obstacle. So let's try this plastic bag here, paper bag, not plastic, we're going all paper today. And I pull it in front of the car. And so if we run this over, this won't be any problem. The question is, will the car stop itself when I'm too dumb to use it? Okay, it will run over the bag. And, well, this one is the risk of this function, obviously, as shown. Maybe it's different when the obstacle is higher, but this obstacle, there are such obstacles also maybe inside your garage, so be aware. And interesting, I did it the second time now, second try, and now the car does not want to move forward anymore. No? So the car stopped, actually. So this time, obviously, the car realized it. Let's go back again and forward again. See? Now for the third time. Ah! Nicely done. Good boy, good boy. So he can do it. Obviously the system is not, flawless. But we wouldn't be good journalists if we didn't try it a second time and gave the car another chance. So let's head to the interior. Solid door handles and a very solid door closing sound. What is interesting in general with the 5 Series, they have improved the build quality, which was criticized with a lot of BMW models. Here they've really stepped up the game. Interesting surfaces here. Seat-wise, it's too bad. I mean, the color combination is nice, but it's too bad because the standard seats for the M550i and also for the M Sports package are called rhombical Alcantara mix. Those are sports seats and which have fabric on the inside and on the outside some Alcantara. The really great seats. I would like to show you them at some point. Today BMW choose again the full animal skin package because they still think that journalists expect that, which some of them don't anymore. You have still some headroom left. It's a classic sedan seating position, that's for sure. And you have this big automatic gear lever switch here. Converter gearbox, always for the most BMW vehicles, just very few with the dual clutch transmission. Then you can see here also more in close-up, you also have this very high-class structures here. I really like it how they designed it. Here you can see the glass screen where you can use the vents function. However, temperature still with a separate knob. You see the horizontal layout for the infotainment screen in this app view. Sometimes I think it's a little bit too complicated. In general, I think the map of the GPS is very clear. I like that. That works pretty well. Also the reaction times. It's really interesting what they've done with the instruments, because on the one hand you can really feel those like real world features, those frames, but everything else is digital, speed and RPM and stuff. And you can see that when I turn off the engine, there they disappear then, step by step. You know, there's just standard knee room. There is some knee room left, with me again 186 in meters or 6'1". But we have cars which are maybe in the small car segment which have the same knee space. Then headroom. One good thing here is that you have a long loading area. It's really long. But then just, you know, a hole to put things in there. This will be better with the touring version. Welcome to the driving part, the discipline that suits the 5 Series the most. And indeed, this is also the big difference with the other cars in this segment. They maybe have something this car doesn't, but driving-wise, it's really always on top of the game. And already from the standard versions, of course. With the E-Class, for example, you rather have it that the base models are very soft, very just comfortable orientated. And then, for example, an E43 could be compared. But with the BMW 5 Series, they concentrate on the sporty ride from the base model on. Here with the M Sports suspension, you really have a little firmer ride, but it's quite okay, you know. It's not too rough. It's not that you say you don't want to ride this car in everyday driving life. This one here still feels good just when you're doing your normal stuff, you're commuting to work, and I think that's also very important. And also when you let the car just roll, maybe take a look at the head-up display, which I see very clearly now. They have reworked it all also for the new generation. Then you can just relax. The engine is also relatively silent if you're just in the normal driving mode. And you have a big serenity with this huge displacement you have too. And this is a very relaxing ride. Also, as for the suspension in general, they do not offer air suspension for the sedan on purpose, they say. Air suspension is coming with the Touring, with the Estate for the rear axle then. Here they said, you know, we are perfectly fine without the air suspension, because an air suspension is maybe also not the sportiest decision, and it really works very well. And the ride is that smooth at the same time. You could easily say, you know, it is one, but it's not. So getting on the first motorway, normal mode still, good side handling. Now you heard the 8-cylinder for the very first time, but such a smooth evolvement of the power we have here. And we're driving 100, and wow, how silent it is in here. So very relaxing and calm once more. BMW 5 Series in general, and especially with the 550i here. The styling, really super great. I think I really love it because, especially in the Mediterranean blue, and it has sporty elements, but it's not too much. It's still elegant, and that's also the reason why I would prefer this one here to the very top M version that is to come, because this one here has more elegance, and the 5 Series is also about elegance. The interior also really refined. They stepped up the game in the 5 Series. I also like the sporty elements we find in the interior, but very important to go for the standard trim you get with the 550i, because then you get the recommended seats, which are very sporty and also more sustainable. Driving wise, hardly any other car in this segment can match the 5 Series in general already with the base engines. Therefore, just from price performance aspect, you can easily go with the M Sports package outside and also inside, and you also get the great seats, and then you save money and still have already good performance. This one only if you have too much money left and really want an 8-cylinder. Yes, of course, it does give you a lot of performance. It's fun to drive, for sure. But already, as said, the base models give you a lot of good fun. I mean, there's a lot of engine choices here. For sure, this one is the more clever pick than the true M version, I can already tell you so far, because it also matches the car. At some point, we also had it in the other reviews we've recently done, at some point, it's not really paying off if you get even more power. Then, let's say, the second most powerful version can be really a pick, even if you say, I don't care about money, I want the best car for me, then I would still go for this one, because you will get along better with it, with more comfort, also in the everyday driving life, than the top-of-the-line M model, which would be rather more suitable for a racetrack. But then again, the question is, this segment itself, is it really suitable for a racetrack?